Benefits, retirement, survivor benefits, disability benefits, spouse benefits, Medicare, SSI, or you're about to file for those benefits, you need to know a few things in this new reality of Social Security. So I'm sure you've seen the news that the Social Security is going to be cutting back quite a bit of staff, at least 7,000 people. It's probably going to be more. We're looking at probably 10, 15, 20% of the agency. And they say it's only headquarters staff or regional staff, whatever the case may be. No, it's across the country, and there is no rhyme or reason. The Social Security, the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration came out today in a kind of a secret-ish meeting and said Doge is making all these cuts. The acting commissioner of Social Security was chosen by Doge, and he is doing what Doge, Elon Musk, tell him to do about Social Security. And kind of under his breath, it sounds like he's saying, yeah, these guys don't know Social Security and they don't know how bad they can hurt people in terms of their benefits. You know, not everybody is as rich as Elon Musk and can go without their benefits for a month or 2 months or 3 months while they, as Elon says, as they reboot the system. So I'm going to talk about that today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country. And here in my semi-retirement, I'm doing all these videos. I've done over 1,000 videos to help you all get all the benefits you earned, retirement benefits, survivor benefits, disability, and all that kind of stuff. I'm also going to do a live Q&A. So I'm going to talk about some strategies that you can use to make sure you get your benefits and make sure your benefits are not interrupted. And then, so that should take about 10 minutes, and then I will open it up to questions. Looks like you already got a lot of questions. I just did, people are surprised, I do this live, West Coast time, 3 o'clock, West Coast time, 6 o'clock, East Coast time. I do it pretty much every day. I have no life. But I did another one just a few hours ago because of the impending cuts of the Veterans Affairs. Look at about 83,000 people. So if you have a veteran in your family, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Ed Weir, Dr. Ed, my Gov expert. You know, if you're looking at if you're watching this from another platform, and check out that video and share it with your friends. There is a deadline, March 31st. There's a couple of deadlines, March 31st, that they have to meet. So please send that information out to as many veterans out there as you know. So they will have their options. If nothing else, they need to check out some options. Okay, so your local Social Security office, is it open now? Is it open today? Possibly. I heard there's some offices throughout the country that have closed, but it's going to get worse going forward. More and more people from the Social Security Administration are leaving, being, as we used to say in the Marine Corps, voluntarily told to get the heck out. So, and there is no rhyme or reason. Even the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration says, hey, these guys don't know this system. And so they're just, slash and burn. So Social Security was already at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. So now I think we're going back to 1935 levels of staffing. So, and this is help you paid for. All those decades you paid into the FICA tax, the Social Security, the Medicare tax. Part of that was go to get help when you needed it. When you needed help from Social Security for retirement or disability or survivors, all that information, and to file a claim and help navigate the bureaucracy. That's what those people were there for. But over the last many years, the politicians have been cutting back and kind of cutting back on your customer service. And then you blame Social Security, and then politicians cut back more, and it becomes a snowball. And now, wow, now the snowball is definitely there. And it's going to take years to bring Social Security back. It's very unfortunate. A lot of people are going to get hurt. All right. So even if your particular Social Security office is open, is it actually open? Because here's something that the Doge and Elon Musk don't realize is that Social Security, the staff are predominantly made up in the field offices, over 1,200 offices, and small town offices are really going to get hurt the worst. So in particular offices, you have a kind of different workloads, different claim specialists, CSRs. So they are broken down into Title II claim specialists, Title 16 claim specialists, and CSR, customer service representatives. What are the differences? Well, Title II, I was a Title II claim specialist before I became the manager. And those are the people that handle retirement benefits and survivor benefits and SSDI benefits and disabled adult child benefits and all those type of benefits. Title 16 are SSI. That's the welfare-based program that Social Security administers, supplemental security income, welfare-based, either based on disability or aged, 65 and older, but you have to have limited income and limited resources. And the CSR, customer service representatives, those are the frontline people that, help out the windows, kind of generalists, but they don't take claims. So even though you drive by your Social Security office and it's still open, so I guess everything is all hunky-dory with me. It might not be open for you. It might be open for, so that, again, there is no rhyme and reason in who they're, essentially firing, laying off, pushing out of the agency. So your particular office, last week it might have had, 5 people that did SSI, supplemental security income, and 5 people that help with retirement survivor benefits. Well, maybe the 5 people that help with the retirement survivor benefits, they've all bailed. Maybe you got like one person that was just hired a couple of years ago that doesn't really know anything on it yet. But your office only has CSRs, generalists that can't take claims, and people that help people with welfare-based programs. And they don't know anything really about retirement benefits or survivor benefits or anything like that because, they're completely different specialists. So even if your office looks like it's open, it might not be open. There's a trick, and the powers that be are kind of tricking the politicians and say, "Oh yeah, no, we're not closing your office, but if you need to file for retirement survivor, yeah, your office is effectively closed." Or I look up on the website SSA.gov website today, and they say, "Well, this office is only taking phone appointments. This office is only taking phone appointments." There's a bunch of those, and those are basically closed. And what it is maybe there's one person, in that particular office, there's usually 10 or 20 or 30 people. There's one person in there that just opening the doors. And then it says, we're not open, but we'll take phone appointments. So it's going to some other office in the country. Your office is essentially closed. They just have someone that was maybe hired 2 years ago that can't do anything. Just go in there and unlock the doors to pretend like they're open, and politicians fall for it and say, oh, the local office is open. So yeah, it's easy to trick politicians, right? All right, so that's the situation, and so we definitely need to figure out ways to work around that. Okay, so if you're about to file for benefits soon, and there's 11,000, this is the worst time to do it because there are more people turning 65 this year than any time in American history. Last year it was the more people turning 65 than any time in American history. Guess what? This year beat last year. We're talking about 10 or 11,000 people every day are turning 65. So number one, obviously, when you turn 65, you need Medicare. Medicare Part A, Part B. You don't need to sign up for Medicare. You don't need to contact Social Security if you have health insurance from current work. So I want to save you some time, trying to wait on the phone. So if you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, and your employer, that employer group health plan has 20 or more employees, then you do not have to sign up for Medicare Part A, Part B, or anything like that. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits and you're approaching 65, Medicare will send you your package automatically in the mail. If you have current insurance for work, then you just refuse the Part B. But if you have health insurance at work, we used to get calls all the time and say, yeah, I'm 65. I'm not receiving benefits. I don't want Medicare Part A, Part B. I'm still working. My spouse is still working. I have health insurance. You don't need to call. You don't need to waste your time. Okay. All right. So, and if you're wanting to file for retirement benefits, survivor benefits, disability, SSI, whatever the case may be, there's a thing called protective filing. As soon as you reach out to Social Security, you're protected for that month. So this is March. You call today, and you're able to speak to someone, and you set up an appointment for next month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months from now. And those out there that have already set up an appointment, who their appointment is coming up, your appointment might be canceled. You might not get a call because the person that was assigned your appointment, has since been, pushed out of the agency. So don't be surprised if you don't get a call. But if you do get, but if you have called and you're protected for March or January or February, whatever the case may be, then once they are able to help you and take your claim and adjudicate, process your claim, then you will get your back benefit. So you won't necessarily lose benefits if you know these tricks. You won't necessarily lose benefits. It just take you forever. And that's one of the, several of the people that are going to be, kind of the previous commissioner of Social Security said, "Hey, y'all need to save some money and put it away because if there's a massive interruption, then you might not get your benefits for a few months." So that is definitely one of the cases where, if, for instance, I talked about this yesterday. If you are husband and wife, and your spouse passes away, and you're depending on those survivor benefits, you might not be able to get an appointment for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and start those benefits. You'll eventually get that money, but you just might have to have some savings for a month or 2 months or 3 months while, Social Security tries to find someone to help you. Even if, people say, well, I filed on the internet and it was all okay. Perfect. Well, this is probably not the channel for you, because it's not all about you. As my wife says, Ed, it's not all about you. But there's other people out there that are suffering. And even if you file online, you can't do everything online. You can't do the survivor benefits online. There's, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits you can't do online. SSI you can't do it online. And even if you do it online, there has to be someone on the other side that review that claim. Every claim is reviewed by an actual human being, and Social Security is lacking human beings. If there's one person that has to, look at 1,000 of those a day, and they just, kind of do a cursory, 2-second look at that. And if something happens to go wrong in the system, you put your, direct deposit in, incorrectly or something, then yeah, good luck getting it fixed. Because you call Social Security and say, hey, I was supposed to get my, my check this month or last month or 2 months ago, but I didn't get it. Well, you're probably not going to be able to get anybody on the phone. And, so even internet claims are reviewed. So even if, you're all good, we need to think about other people around us to reach out to them and say, hey, if you're going to do this, that, and the other, you need to do it quickly. And if you're in the protective filing, one of the tricks I recommend is, if you call Social Security and you call the 800 number and you're on hold for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, take a picture of your phone that shows that you're attempting to call Social Security, a screenshot, take a picture, whatever the case may be. And you can use that later when you actually do contact them. So if you're not able to contact them until a month later, you show them at that time during your interview and say, hey, I called y'all like a month early, so I want my benefits to start that month, so you don't lose a month of benefits. So there's going to be a lot of people that lose money because they don't know that trick. So make sure you share with that. And print your record. Go into SSA.gov. Everybody should set up a My Social Security account. Go into My Social Security through SSA.gov and set up an account and print off hard copy. Print off your records. Print off your earnings record. Print off how much your statement is, how much you're going to receive at 62, 65, 67, how much you're currently receiving. Everything paper. Because let me tell you about a story that happened a few years ago in Japan. When the Japanese Social Security system switched from an older system to the newer system, they lost like 50 million records. And they're talking about updating, which Social Security has been begging Congress for decades. We need to update our Social Security system. And Social Security and politicians says, no, we don't want to give you money to do that. Because we like Social Security broken, so we can eventually give it to our buddies at Wall Street. So they're succeeding there. So Social Security has been demanding to update the system forever. But now it might happen, but based on what we're looking at, it might happen haphazardly, and I'd hate for people to lose their benefits when maybe those records are lost. So if you think, Doge and Elon Musk are 100% perfect and they're going to do everything, and you 100% trust them with your Social Security, your future Social Security, disability, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, then you don't need to do anything. You're good. But if you have an ounce of maybe, then I would definitely go in there, set up an account, and print off everything. So, all right. So there's a lot of various different variables here that we want to get into. I want to go ahead and open up to the live Q&A. I saw someone the very first. Let me see if I can find this very first one. Okay, here it is. She's 64 years old. She's A, W6 and DI, 15 years no work. So this is BIC codes. This is what, you know. So Gray Matters knows more about Social Security than Elon Musk. Elon Musk was saying, oh, there's all these checks that are going out there. There's no notes on them. Gray knows what the notes are. They're AW, W6, and DI. So those are the notes. So maybe you should reach out to Elon and tell them that your checks do have notes on them. Anyway, your ex died of cancer at 62. Wow. On disability insurance. If my disability insurance is revoked, can I take his Social Security and get the full amount I'm getting now, or would it be less? Would W6 also be revoked? Okay, so W6, there's hundreds of BIC codes. These are the codes that determine, what type of benefits you're getting. If you're in the old days, it used to have your Social Security number, and then it would have like the A or the W6 or the DI or something like that. If you're A, that means you're just getting retirement benefits on your own record. W6 is a disabled, surviving, divorced wife, first claimant benefits. So you are started receiving disabled widows benefits between the age of 50 and 59. So yeah, if something happens and you get kicked off of disability, once you are your full retirement age, you're 64, so you have to wait till your full retirement age. Once you're full retirement age, you can just go ahead and get regular surviving spouse benefits at 100%, basically what you're receiving now. So yes, but I did a video about 3 days ago now on disability and what to watch out for those people, 11 million people on disability. What they need to watch out for, the continuing disability reviews and everything. So make sure you watch that video. And then I go through a bunch of things that you definitely need to check out. So, but yeah, in your particular case, if something happens to your divorced, disabled widow's benefits, then you can switch at your full retirement age to full just surviving spouse benefits. If it happens before then, it's obviously reduced a little bit. Kathleen, I'm 80 years old, now receiving my husband's Social Security, who recently passed away. My question is, I had my leg amputated 5 years ago. Do I qualify for disability on top of survivor benefits? Unfortunately, no. There's no such thing as disability after your full retirement age. Everybody that is on disability benefits, once they hit their full retirement age, their benefits are automatically switched from disability benefits to regular old retirement benefits. So, and the amount stays the same. Obviously you're still disabled if you're disabled, but it's just a bureaucratic thing. They stop taking your money out of the disability trust fund and start taking it out of the retirement trust fund. So it's just a switch, a bureaucratic type switch. So unfortunately, yeah, no more disability benefits after your full retirement age. But I did a video on living on Social Security alone. Make sure you check that video out. I've done a few versions of it, and it goes through about 50 different programs that just might make your life a little bit easier. Lisa, I have DRCs from 2024 that should have been added to my benefits in January. This did not happen. What is a likely explanation, and how can I rectify the situation? Local Social Security office is not helpful. Yeah, so the delayed retirement credit, so those are the 8% that are added every year past your full retirement age. If you wait to collect benefits past your full retirement age, you get 8% for every year you wait. So if your full retirement age is 67, and you wait to collect your Social Security at 70, you get 24% added on to your Social Security. But yeah, the odd months, once you file and it's a full year, those delayed retirement credits are added almost immediately. If there are kind of leftover months, like it's not a full 12 months, then like there's an extra 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months or something like that, then those extra delayed retirement credits are not added to your payment until January. So it sounds like that is the situation. So yeah, under normal circumstances, then you call the Social Security office, but they probably just don't have any staff there. So call your politician. Maybe our maybe they've increased Social Security offices by over 535 offices throughout the country. They're called senators and House of Representatives, your congressional offices. So I'd reach out to your congressional office on everybody's website, and their senator, House of Representatives on their websites. They always have this little button where it says, I need help with a federal agency. Click that little button, type what you just wrote in there, and let them figure it out. They're the ones that are bringing Social Security to this level. So, Gene, I'll be 65 in August of 2025 on SSDI for 30 plus years. If I retire early, will my SSDI payment be decreased? I'm concerned I'll be cut from SSDI by Musk. Maybe early retirement will protect me. Yeah, people ask all that all the time, but I would just keep on keeping on. And if you do get a CDR, if you do get caught up in all this, chaos, you can always switch to retirement benefits at that time. But yes, it will be reduced anytime you collect benefits. So, retirement benefits early, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, your benefits are reduced. So you're going to be 65 and 25 this year. So just keep on keeping on. And, if your disability stops at whatever future time, then switch to retirement. And hopefully it doesn't. And then, once you get your full retirement age, you're automatically switched to retirement benefits anyway. The amount and everything stays the same. So, Gene Terry, it became a silver member. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're definitely like Mary Kate became a silver member. Got a whole bunch others. Donna. So yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Let's see here. Yes, please subscribe, share, live stream, Twitter. Yes, please. Yes. Everybody out there, more people need to get the information on how to, get their benefits in this new reality. Do you think the government will have something set up telling landlords they cannot evict with Social Security interruptions like with COVID? I certainly hope so. That's one of the things I talked about yesterday, and who's going to suffer here. And there's a bunch of people that are going to suffer. But that's definitely one of them. If you don't get your check for whatever reason, if you get an old paper check and you don't get it, if you put your direct deposit in wrong, if you move, if Social Security messes up somehow and you don't get your check, and you're not able to pay your rent, then what used to happen is people would go down to the local Social Security office and with their, eviction notice, or that their electricity is going to get cut off or something, and we would give them a check out of the office. But if your office is no longer there, or there's just, one person there that doesn't have check writing ability, then you're unfortunately SOL, as we used to say. Spouse died August, so doesn't affect me, but not fair that widows who were told not to apply because of GPO like I was don't get the whole year back pay. Who interprets the law that says 1 year? It's the HR 82, the Social Security Fairness Act. It's 2 sentences. Yeah. And not sure why you didn't get the full year back. That's one of the reasons I did that video on Social Security Fairness Act. If reach out to people so they don't lose those benefits. But if you disagree, you can always file the request for reconsideration appeal. It's an appeal, SSA 561, request for reconsideration. So fill that out, and then maybe in a year or so they'll respond. If one loses SSI, not SSA, thank you, Vince, for that qualification. Do you automatically lose SSDI? Not necessarily, because SSI, you could lose it because, SSI is a welfare-based program. So if you lose SSI because you get a whole bunch of money and inheritance or win the lottery or something like that, you can lose SSI, but you're still disabled. So you will continue to receive SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. However, if you lose SSI because Social Security has determined you're no longer disabled, then yes, you will lose SSDI as well. I get SSA survivor benefits. Will I retire at 67? Will I lose the survivor benefits? No, No, if you're receiving survivor benefits on your deceased spouse's record, you can continue to receive that. And then you can, this is the strategy, a good strategy that you can do with survivor benefits. You can file for the survivor benefits. Don't touch yours. Sounds like this is the way you're doing it. And then once you hit your full retirement age, you're 70 years old, then you switch over onto your own to get those extra benefits. But you'll get the higher benefit. So technically, I'm sure you don't care, but technically you still get your survivor benefits and then you get your own added on there. So it's just so anyway. But yeah, you get the higher benefit, so you won't necessarily lose your survivor. You won't get both checks. You won't get the $1,000 survivor benefits and another check. One offsets the other. Maybe that's what you were asking. Bob, I'm 64 and ready to file for Social Security. Other than making sure my bank account number, routing number are accurate, do you have any other tips? Check your earnings record. Number one thing is check your earnings record, how much you paid into Social Security all those decades, because Social Security uses your high 35 years of earnings to determine how much you're going to get. And if those numbers are wrong, then everything is going to be wrong. So make sure you check that. And don't ignore, earnings earlier in your career. Because remember, those are adjusted for kind of like a wage index, wage inflation. So, $20,000 in, 1982, it might be worth like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 today. So don't ignore those. Yeah. And other than that, 64, you're going to go ahead and file. And remember, in a few months, probably within a year or so, you'll receive your Medicare card in the mail automatically. And this is also the Medicare open enrollment season, January, February, March. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you can switch one time until March 31st and get another Medicare Advantage plan. So if you forgot to check your Medicare Advantage plan, if you want to see if you can save some more money, get some more benefits, you do have a second option. You can reach out to a chapter there and their help is 100% free. They sponsor this so I can do these live Q&As. So they've been doing a phenomenal job. And this is also, as everybody that knows that watch my channel, I always recommend checking out Medicare supplement plans first, the plan N or G or F. So this is also the time you can switch back to regular Medicare, original Medicare, and get a Medicare supplement. But depending on your state, you'll probably have to go through health underwriting. So at least check it out and see if it's right for you. If it's not for you, budget, or you're not able to get it for whatever reason, then check out Medicare Advantage. It's far, far better than having original Medicare alone. There's too many financial gaps there, unless you've got, a few $1 million sitting on your mattress somewhere. If you do, make sure you buy me a beer or a coffee or whatever. 64, worked for United States Post Office, placed in GPO, paid into Social Security for 10 years, then switched to CSRS, and they took 3 years away. Will they count? Can I get them back? Yeah, if, well, I don't know about the 3 years, but yeah, it sounds like the Social Security Fairness Act is for you, so definitely reach out to Social Security. And, well, if you've already been placed in GPO, if you actually did file a claim and, they determined that, sure, here's the money, but your non-covered pension offsets that. So you're already on the record. If you didn't file, you definitely need to contact Social Security and file. But it sounds like since you said you were placed in GPO, government full offset, then that should be automatic. And there's a lot of people that have already received those extra checks. But they said in the press release that wait until April. And if you don't receive your check in April, then reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on? So, hi, I remarry my husband of 20 years in the U.S. We lived in Asia, but I moved in the U.S. alone because we got divorced from him. But we married again 2 years ago. I'm a U.S. citizen, 64 years old. Yeah. So if, you're married to someone receiving benefits, you need to file for benefits on your own record. If you're not entitled, you're not eligible for benefits on your own record because you didn't pay the 10 years or whatever, no problem. Then you can file for spouse benefits. Because you're currently married, he has to be receiving Social Security benefits. So if he's receiving Social Security benefits, then you can file for benefits on his record. And you can do that online. But once you do it, then you submit it and the local office looks at it if they have staff, and then they'll probably have to request a marriage certificate or something like that, and your legal status in the United States, citizenship or green card or whatever the case may be. But that if there's anybody actually in your local office that does Title II, retirement survivor spouse benefits. Kim, full retirement age next month. I was going to wait until 70 because I still work, but now scared to wait. Advice. Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I knew, but you're in the same situation as everybody else. They don't know what's going to happen in the future. And even before all of this chaos and anarchy, we were already, scheduled cuts are going to happen. We're talking about 2033, 2034, about 21, 22% cuts. So the cuts are going to happen unless politicians do something, and they really haven't done anything yet to stop the cuts, other than make everything worse. So let's see. Ron Lawson, if you can afford a supplement plan and don't have some serious medical conditions, you should apply for it, which is ever better for your situation. Yeah, I always recommend Medicare supplement. And 51% of people get a Medicare Advantage plan, predominantly because they see that zero premium and then, all the extra bells and whistles, dental, vision, hearing and stuff. And, but if you never get sick, if you have a crystal ball and you can see that you're going to live for another, 70 years and never really be sick or never be injured, get a Medicare Advantage plan, 100%. Guarantee that's going to be the best for you because zero premium and you won't really need it. So why waste all that money? But since we don't have a working crystal ball, I recommend Medicare supplements if you can afford it. The other reason a majority of people get Medicare Advantage is because Medicare insurance agents, brokers out there, most times make more money selling you a zero premium Medicare Advantage plan. The whole thing is crazy. That's why I partnered up with Chapter, because I was tired of people giving the wrong information and not giving all the information. So I didn't want to get into the Medicare thingy, but I was tired of people getting, ripped off and not told everything. So but they've been awesome. So they sponsor this Q&A. Went to local Social Security via phone appointment to get help on a problem applying for Medicare Part B. Waiting room full of people. I was in and out in 10 minutes and problem was solved. Great CSR. Very friendly. There we go. That's what we like to hear. Even amongst all of the chaos and the anarchy, there are some still offices out there that are running great. That could all change by the end of the week. On the 28th of February, I got a whole bunch of texts from old Social Security employees that I knew and says, "Hey, Ed, today's my retirement date." And I said, "Oh, congratulations." And I get another text, "Oh, I'm retiring today. I'm quitting today. I'm moving on today." I got so many of those. So that might have been great. That CSR might be gone. So, yeah. Let's see here. Okay. All right. We don't want to go there. My mom is 80 and she has SSI for a bit. Does she need to call SSI office? So for a bit. So SSI is the welfare-based program. You can get it, based on disability or being aged 65 and older, low income, low resources. If she is on SSI, supplemental security income, the welfare-based program, then, if SSI reaches out to her, she needs to contact them because they need to check every now and then. They do what's called RZs, redeterminations, and to see whether, you didn't hit the lottery or something like that. But yeah, if she has no changes, no living arrangement changes, she didn't win a lot of money or something like that, then she should be okay-ish. Yep. But definitely reach out and to your politicians and say, "Hey, don't mess with my mother's benefits." Following yesterday's video regarding date of death being left blank, why can't they put 999, which would, that's fraud. So that's not the date of death. They could do that if politicians say, yeah, you can go ahead and do that, but politicians don't want to do that because they want that whole thing to be a club to beat up Social Security every now and then. So that doesn't matter. Social Security doesn't care about that because that's not money going out. That's just a record, one little record that has no relevance to money going out. And Social Security says, yeah, it's not a big deal. No money's going out of there. The money is paid over here. But yeah, there are some records that are not correct on the old paper system and stuff like that. We can fix it, but we can spend, millions of dollars doing it, or Congress can give us authorization to falsify it by putting 9999. And politicians say, no, we don't want to do that because we want to beat you all up every now and then. So yeah, no, it's a stupid thing to beat up on Social Security in order to eventually give it to their buddies on Wall Street. I called yesterday and was on hold for almost 3 hours. Since I have the flu, I just could not stay on hold. I just wanted to see if they got my 6-question CDR. Last week they had not received it. Yeah, a CDR. So a continuing disability review. You got the package. It was your time to get it or whatever. If you send it in, the thing on CDRs, it probably, when it goes to one person's desk, they don't put it in the system immediately. There's usually one person in a particular office that worked those, and they kind of work those kind of independently. And, it could be on that person's desk, but maybe that person is no longer with the agency. So it's just going to sit on the desk for another month or 2 months or 3 months or so. I was penalized for not signing up for Part B. I had coverage from husband's work, and when he retired, I signed up for it, and they penalized me. You should be open with people and letting them know. Yes, yep, I do that all the time. Yep, I always say it has to be current work. That doesn't sound like it's current work because you said retired. So yes, retirement plans, COBRA plans, the Affordable Care Act. Yep, always current work. Current work. I always say current work. Ed has explained that it would take millions of dollars to find those weird birth dates, and it just isn't worth the money because that file is not used for making payments. Yeah, so it's not worth the money. It's a waste of money. The only people that care about that date of death field are those politicians that use it to beat up on Social Security, and we fall for the trick every single time. Yeah. I've had a part-time job because I only make $10.64 a month on Social Security. I was going to see about getting Medicaid. Is it going to be worth it, or are they denying people who apply now? As of right now, with $10.64 a month, it really depends on how much you're making from that part-time job. So I would definitely apply. Always apply. But if you're making $2,000 a month on that part-time job, you're going to be denied. So. And really depends, so it depends how much you make and depends on your state. Some states are a little bit cheaper than others. So yes, please definitely reach out. If you need that extra money, all they can say is, go away. Right. So, I'm going in for an appointment to show my marriage license and divorce decree on March, and have to wait till April 24th for a phone appointment to file SS2 ex-spouse IEDS. Hope they let me do the app. Yeah. The IEDS, time will tell. Thank you for the question and the comment. So the independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. Here's something a lot of people are missing money. When you are at least 62 years old and you file for benefits on your own record, if you are married to someone for 10 years, have since been divorced from that person for 2 years, but they haven't filed for benefits, as long as they're 62, you can file for benefits on their record. That's what that is, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. There's a lot of people out there that are sitting around waiting for those extra divorce spouse benefits. And they say, well, I can't because he or she hasn't filed for benefits yet. No, that doesn't matter. As long as you were married to that person for 10 years, you've been divorced for 2 years. That's only for independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, the 2-year thing. And as long as that person is 62 years old, you can file for those benefits. So as time will tell did. So is a Social Security card with the phrase Social Security valid for work only with DHS something recent? No, it's been around for a long, long, long time. So it's a limited thingy. A friend with an I-94 was originally denied for Social Security benefits, received back pay, and a new restricted card. Yeah, so there's different types of Social Security cards, and one are just valid for work, not for Social Security benefits or anything like that. So yeah, those are the people that come into the country and kind of contribute to the Social Security Administration. So it's a beautiful thing. And they never get their money unless they, change their status later. Nearest small town Social Security is 60 miles away. And like I said, those small towns are going to be really, really hurt. Because, if those small towns, you've got a Social Security office with only 5 or 10 people, if they lose 1 or 2 people in that office, then especially if they lose it in one of those programs, if they lose it in Title II, if they lose 2 people in Title II, then retirement claims, survivor claims, all those are going to be very difficult to get your money. And I guess that's the intent, is to prevent you from getting your money. How do you get your check or start benefits if Doge screws up the whole computer system? Yeah, I guess that's the question, isn't it? I'm in San Francisco, and there's definitely a monopoly going on. There's people in every entity here during dirty deed. Okay. Let's see. Question. I just turned full retirement, was on SSDI, now Social Security retirement, same amount. Yep, exactly. Wisdom of the word. Yes. So that's an automatic thing. People don't even notice it. And remember, you're no longer in disability, so you no longer have those CDRs, continuing disability reviews. You don't have to stress about those things anymore. And you're no longer any work limitations. So you could make $1 billion a month. You don't need to notify Social Security. Social Security doesn't care. You're on regular old Social Security benefits. So, yep, you are free. Let's see here. 81, early Social Security on my own work. Ex-spouse, born 1939, worked till 70, might have opted for Social Security early, died 2024, married 10 years, full or reduced survivor benefits. So if you file, then your side is 100%, but it really depends on when your spouse, if you will get 100% of his benefit amount, whether it's his full benefit amount or it's reduced amount because he filed early, that's a whole different issue. But I would definitely, if you haven't got those benefits and you're 81 years old, wow, you waited way too long. But you can definitely go in there and yes, get your benefits. Definitely. Unfortunately, you can't do that online or anything, but you call Social Security and say, hey, I want to see if there's any surviving spouse benefits for you. And they will look at the record. So you just need to know the Social Security number. Well, even if you don't know the Social Security number, you just give them the person's name, date of birth, where they were born, and they can find it. And they'll tell you exactly whether there's any more money. If there's any more money, then they will schedule you an appointment. I'm 64 on disability. I have some inheritance from a family property in Florida coming. Will I be penalized for receiving this inheritance? Yes, 100%. You have to give it to us. No. I assume your disability is just for Social Security disability insurance. So yeah, no effect whatsoever. If you receive an SSI, the welfare-based program, then yes, you have to notify Social Security that you're receiving money coming in. But if you're on just regular old Social Security disability insurance, then nope, no relevance whatsoever. But you can still buy my son and I a beer. Coffee for us. One beer, Weir. Went online today for a callback. Look what it says. Get help, secretary card, sure. What's the best way for us to talk? CS request a callback. Yeah, they once, this is the first time this has happened. Well, even before all this nightmare, Social Security, as a few months ago, went to a kind of a appointment only system for most offices. And that's because Social Security has been attacked for decades, and politicians refuse to support it because they want exactly what's happening to happen. So Social Security, even before this week, has been at a 50-year low in terms of staffing, even though it's at a height in terms of people wanting to collect benefits. You've heard of these things, these people called the baby boomers, 1946 to 1964, over 70 million people. Those people are retiring. So if I begin Social Security 2 years early, what is the percentage of spousal benefits I can collect? When I spoke with a rep at Social Security, I was told spousal benefits begin when I begin collecting Social Security. We would have to file for them. Okay, so for spousal benefits, yes, when you file for benefits on your own record, if you're eligible for any other benefits, you have to file for those benefits, unless it's survivor benefits. But if your current spouse is, you're still alive, then when you file for benefits on your record, you have to file for those spouse benefits if your spouse is receiving benefits. So it's called deemed filing. And, when you file for benefits on your own record, you file early, then it's reduced. If you file for benefits on a spouse record, if you're filing those benefits early, then it's reduced. So, Dr. Ed, given past overpayment scandals, do you recommend any paid out windfalls go into savings for a few years? Overpayment scandals, not sure. Windfalls. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of overpayments. Yeah, anytime there's an overpayment and Social Security gets that money returned, then it goes back into the Social Security Trust Fund. So yeah, that's kind of automatic. Um, let's see. As of this morning, my benefit is updated to reflect elimination of WEP. Total now is 998. Whoopee. Well, Albert, all right, good deal. So yeah, I anticipated the easy ones. Once they updated the computer system, the easy ones that you're already on the record, it should happen around March or April or so. A lot of people's, and then the Social Security came out with a letter that says it's going to take a year, and people said, Ed, you were completely off base. You were wrong. I said, no. I said the easy computer ones will take pretty quick because it's just a unwepping, un-GPO. But the manual ones, yeah, that one's going to take a lot longer. So only people not suffering are billionaires. Yes, yes. And those are the ones that are going to stop little old ladies' survivor benefits, or, make it hard for them to get those benefits. I started collecting last year at 62 because I was afraid Harris would win and the Social Security fund would be given to Ukraine or some. Okay, yeah, that's yeah. The Social Security Trust Fund is not given to Ukraine. It's not, it's not stolen. That's another thing that politicians, we fall for it all the time. We're such suckers like that. Politicians, put out this little shiny little object. Millions of dead people are receiving benefits, and we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, wow. So I guess we do need to destroy Social Security. So you're helping destroy Social Security. So congratulations. I received survivor. Sorry, I'm kind of raw right now. I receive survivor benefits when I retire at full retirement age. Will I lose the survivor benefits? No. Again, one will offset the other. So if your benefits from your own record are 2,000 and you're currently receiving 1,000 from survivor benefits, technically you'll continue to receive the 1,000 plus an extra 1,000 to equal the 2,000. So it's kind of dual, entitlement type stuff. But yeah, you'll get the higher benefit amount. Ed, if checks are held back, do you think we will get back pay when it starts up again? I certainly hope so. Yeah, if something crazy like that happens, hopefully they rectify it. But it's the people. That's why the recent commissioner said it might be a good idea to save, and a lot of people said, "What? I'm barely making it right now on a monthly basis. How can I put any money into savings in case something happens?" And yeah, I agree. It's no-win situation for a lot of people, unfortunately. So remember, check the video I did on living on Social Security alone, and hopefully there's something in there that might make your life a little bit easier. If you have direct deposit, are you still in danger of delays in getting your Social Security? I certainly hope not. Again, if they go in there and they start messing, again, they need to update the system. So if they go in there and start updating the system from Fortran to COBOL to something, something from the 19th century or the 21st century, and everything has worked, and everything, these computer geniuses that they have doing this, if they do everything 100% right, then it should be good. If they don't, yeah, I would print off your records. So haven't been able to get a hold of anyone since COVID. Don't think anyone is actually working. Yeah, that's what's an interesting thing is they had in Congress, they had a special committee about telework. It says, the reason they're not answering the phones is because of telework, and these people are not working, well, they're working from home, and you can work from home, and you're monitored just as much as as if you're right in the next cubicle from your boss, because that's the computer system that Social Security has. But these I'm going to do a video on this. These politicians say as soon as the people go back to the office, everything will be hunky dory because, they'll be working in the office. And then they go fire all these people. These politicians says, okay, yeah, these people need to go back in the office because that one guy held up the phone and says, I've been on the phone for 3 hours and this is how you're going to treat our seniors. And you need to get back to the office. And then he goes and, fires all these people or lets them go or voluntarily, move along. So wait a second. Do they need to come back into the office or not? Come on, make up your mind. Yeah. Well, long story short, they were all BSing. Is it true that those who currently collecting Social Security monthly payments are no longer going to receive them because Trump and Illinois stolen our money? No, that's another myth. They haven't really stolen the money. The money is still there as of right now. So yeah, The reason you're not able to access your benefits is because there's no one there to help you get your benefits. And yeah, so last I checked my earnings record, it just shows dates worked and not salaries. Okay, yeah. So there's if they should show on there. If you go down, if you go into mysocialsecurity.gov, and in the early years, it just gives you kind of it puts a decade together, like from in the 80s, it'll just show this, and then and if you go down to the bottom on mysocialsecurity.gov, you click it, and then it'll expand it out, and it'll give you how much you make each particular year. It doesn't give you all of the details in terms of your work and all that kind of stuff, where you worked and everything, how much, that is what's called a DQUE, detailed earnings query. And you can't get that unless you go down the Social Security Administration and request it. And most of the times they'll want to charge you because that's a whole different program. So I attempted spouse benefits. I attempted spouse benefits. X was married 12 years. They said he's still employed at 64, can't draw his benefits. No, it doesn't matter. If you're receiving your benefits, you were married 12 years, so that's good. You've been divorced for 2 years, finally divorced for 2 years. It doesn't matter whether he is collecting benefits or not. He is 62 years old, at least 62 years old, so you can collect. So go down there and say, and this is going to be another problem, is because the people at your office, maybe they're all SSI people and they don't know, they're Title II, they're not Title II, retirement specialists, and they're going to give wrong information, and people are going to lose benefits like wisdom here. And so, so she, could very well have lost benefits for decades, not knowing that she can file for independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. So go down there and say, I want to file for independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. And I will give you I'm going to put the link to that policy reference for the independently entitled divorce spouse benefits in the chat, IEDS. And there's the link. So you print that off there and you go down to your local office and you say, I want to file for this. And you've got the reference right there. So, doctor, any idea why I would be sent a CDR last summer, and then about a month or so after, they sent me another letter stating that, oh, never mind, it wasn't your time to fill this out. I'm on SSDI. Then don't worry about it. Either it wasn't your time, they mistakenly sent it out, or they ran out of budget to do the CDRs, because those CDRs and SSI RZs, those redeterminations, those are separate allocations from Congress. So you don't need to know that, I'm sure you're not interested in how the sausage is made, but I guess they filled their quota in that particular office. So you don't need to do it. So just go on with your life and don't sweat it until you get it again. So can you explain one more time if I received death benefits from my husband's work during our 46 years of marriage? I don't think I can live without it. I'm in the 80s. Yeah. So if you're, it depends on how much your benefit is. If to collect surviving spouse benefits, you had to be, if it's a divorce type situation, you had to be married to that person for 10 years. If you were married to them when they passed away, as long as you were married at least 9 months, you can get surviving spouse benefits. If you're currently married, if you were remarried after 60, then you can still get those benefits. But yeah, I would call Social Security and give them your husband's information, and they will look in the system and determine whether there's more benefits there. And if his benefit amount was even $1 more than what you're receiving now, they will schedule an appointment and they will get you their money. So I'm 60 on SSDI, single parent. I also get money for my 10-year-old under SSDI, which is half of mine. Can my sister claim on her taxes since I'm unable to work, or I must claim her on my... Yeah, I don't do taxes. Yeah. Let's see. These psychopaths. Oh, okay, well, I think I might want to skip that one. I just push buttons and see what pops up. Ed, SSDI, does Medicare start for when you were eligible or when you received the first payment? When you receive the first payment, but I always hesitate saying that because some people receive Some people have been waiting for their disability benefits for 2 years, and they just get their first payment this month, and then they get Medicare started this month as well, because you've been waiting 2 years. So that payment that you got today, a lump sum, was for 2 years ago, and technically you on. So it's from when your payments actually started. Remember, you have that 5-month waiting period. So when you're approved for disability benefits, you don't get benefits for the first 5 months. There's a bill in Congress that is trying to end that 5-month waiting period. I don't think that's going to pass, but yeah, it's from when your first check began, your MOE, your month of entitlement. Yeah, and then once you get your Medicare, you'll get your Part A, Part B, and then you'll just have to find a plan, to cover all the gaps. And again, you can reach out to chapter there, and they can help you out completely free. At 67, they're fraud. Any work penalties go away. Doesn't matter if they retired early. That could be Googled. Yep. At full retirement age, work penalties. Yeah, the offset $1 for every $2 or $1 for every $3. Yeah, once you hit your full retirement age, you can make $1 billion a month, and it doesn't affect your Social Security benefits at all. It might affect your Medicare, depending on where that money comes from. You might have to pay an extra premium for your Medicare. So. Take and Took, always looking out. You're awesome. We're 2,400 watching, but only 748 likes. Come on, people. This is how the information gets out there. We need to pay it forward and reach out to. Yes, it is an ego thing. I like to get more likes, and but come on, it's people. As my wife said, it's not all about you. People need to get the information out, especially now. Your choice of words is showing very personal and twisted bias. Yeah. All writing is biographical, right? All speaking is biographical. What you think and say other people are doing, what they do not realize and do not care about is very off the mark. Okay. All right. That is your personal view. Question. I received a letter saying I'm eligible for ticket to work. I'm 64, turning 65 in 2 weeks. Can you tell me why, when I turn 65, I'm no longer eligible? Yeah, they're just a ticket to work. A ticket to work is a private organization that Social Security contracts with. I'm not sure if the contract is going to continue, but anyway, that they contract with, that helps you give a ticket to work, to transfer to work, and they help you do a bunch of stuff. And the ticket to work, they no longer help people once they turn 65. So, but remember, you still have all of the work incentives in terms of the trial work period and all that. Make sure you watch all the videos I've done on disability and working while receiving disability. So I have my records printed, all of my work history as well. Good to tell people, okay, perfect. Yes, put it in a nice, safe place there. And that way, if anything happens, and that one, I knock on wood, I don't think, we're going to have the situation like they did in Japan where they lost those 50 million records. The prime minister of Japan actually lost his job because of that. Shinzo Abe. He was the guy that was later assassinated last year, 2 years ago now, but for a completely different issue. But yeah, it brought down an administration. When you lose 50 million people, 50 million records of people's benefits, and it took them about 10 years to fix it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to us. I'm 99.9% sure it won't, but then I just skipped someone there. There's going to be a whole lot of I want to skip that one. I have VA disability and just filed for SSDI yesterday under Wounded Warrior. Good. They told me it would been taking about 200 plus days to process. Yeah, this is the video I just did on all of that. I talk about the Wounded Warrior and things that veterans have to do. So veterans, please watch the video. I did another live a couple hours ago. You need to act before March 31st. There's the Medicare general enrollment period, the Medicare open enrollment period, disability, Wounded Warrior. So please share that video with as many vets as you know, because there is a deadline on some of this stuff. So let's see here. The bottom 90% of the people are in the abusive political arrangement with Democrats and Republicans. We need to take our power back from these groups. Yeah, I mean, it's people say, what political party are you? I'm the protect Social Security political party. Both sides of the political aisle have not done their job. Well, one side has done their job because this is what their plan was. The other side has not done their job in saying, "Hey, we'll support Social Security," but they have failed at their job. So, yeah. So I blame both sides. Sounds to me like you retired too early. You could have got a buyout. Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of them got buyouts, but no, I'm thankful that I was able to build up this YouTube channel and just in this kind of nick of time, hopefully help out some people. When my spouse passes, how do I get a spousal benefits? Do I have to supply a death certificate or did they get that information a different way? Yeah, if your spouse passed away in the United States, it's all automatic. So to collect surviving spouse benefits, you just need to file a claim. And then you'll probably need the marriage certificate. If it's a divorce type situation, you'll need the marriage certificate and the divorce decree. But the death certificate, that's automatic. So unless they passed away overseas or something like that, then they'll need the date of death. I told my sister who was on disability about applying for survivor spouse benefits from her husband who went back to Pakistan but worked here for many years, but they never divorced. Surviving spouse benefits. So technically, if they never divorced, then technically she's still kind of married. And remember, because she's on disability, that doesn't preclude her from getting survivor benefits. As long as she's 60 years old or disabled widows, from 50 to 59, that's not going to stop her disability. She'll get survivor benefits on top of disability. One offsets the other, but yeah, tell her to apply. She'll need the marriage certificate and just, she'll need the the death certificate. If he passed away in Pakistan, then she'll need to get the death certificate somehow to prove that. So, all right, we're over an hour, so unfortunately we're running out of time. Did 2 lives today, but I will be back again. I don't think I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll be back the next day, and I'll answer as many more questions as I can. Topic of the day, then answer questions. Y'all have an awesome night. Take